All right. Obviously, what a game, all around. TJ's taking my cold water. I get the hot one, great. I had a mentor of mine early on in my career, and he told me, he said, there's three of the most important things in baseball. It's faith, love, and a home field advantage. And my goodness, was that home field advantage something else tonight. I mean, those guys were awesome. And I know A-Day's huge here. It's my first weekend seeing that. I know where I was at previously, we had about 2,000 people come to those games, and there were 70,000 over at Bryant-Denny today, and a good chunk of them came over to watch the boys compete after that, and man, we just thank them for that because they made a difference. They were electric. As far as the game goes, I thought our boys were just super competitive throughout. You guys have heard me up here enough. Like, starts with the starter, starts with a guy on the mound, and like he does every weekend, Greg went out and competed his tail off and executed pitches, didn't flinch. Gave him a solo shot, and that's it. And I thought threw the ball extremely well. Tyler Fay came in. Again, first hitter hangs a slider. He gets him, but he settles in, and it was really electric stuff. Alton Davis, same thing. Really good stuff. 2 outs, nobody on. I know that kind of took the wind out of the sails there for about 30 seconds. But the thing I was most proud about him of is he didn't feel bad for himself. He executed, got the next guy out. They go out and make 2 unreal plays there in the bottom of the ninth to send it to extras. It had every ounce of momentum coming off that field. AD goes up quick, 3 up, 3 down, and then we're able to finish it there at the end. Kind of funny that in a game where I feel like there was a ton of loud outs, TJ hit that one about 24 miles an hour, and that's the game winner. So the game of baseball it's a humbling game. It's a hard game, but these boys earned that tonight. They fought like heck, and that's not a just tonight thing. I saw that last night in the loss. I saw that in practice on Wednesday. I saw it in practice on Thursday. So fun game tonight. Anybody that is a fan of college baseball had to enjoy the heck out of that. But now attention turns to tomorrow. It's a quicker turnaround. We gotta flush this and go back and get ready to try to take a series tomorrow.
TJ, you had 2 big hits in the 8th and the 10th. What was kind of going through your mindset through those at bats, just to try to do something for your team?
Nothing. I just try to clear my mind, and if you start thinking about the situation too much, you'll try to do too much. So I just clear my mind and try to take it as a normal at bat. Just try to see a pitch and get a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, Greg, you had another great outing today. What was working for you on the mound today, and what was kind of going through your mind?
I think first time through the lineup, just mixing with different pitches, and then second time kind of lost feel for the off-speed stuff and just attacked with the heater and trusted it and trusted the defense behind me all the time I go out there.
Yeah, and Greg and TJ, coaches talked to us about kind of how to rally back, especially in this kind of slump that you guys have faced, losing 5 in a row and breaking that tonight. From a player's perspective, how do you guys kind of get those games that kind of don't go your way out of your mind and not let it impact you for the games following to try to bounce back?
I think we just have a really special group of guys. We're really, I like to say we have like a really tough mindset, and the coaches do a really good job of making sure that we don't drag on from the past games, getting swept or losing or getting walked off even that point. So they do a really good job of making sure we just take it one game at a time, one pitch at a time. The next game is the most important game, and I think we really buy into that, and I think that's what helps us, move on and get to the next game.
I'd say the same thing. I think just building off of last night, yeah, we lost, but I think the offense competed really hard. I think Heater gave us a good start. The bullpen did a great job coming out, putting up zeros, and just taking it day by day, honestly, just trusting that we're a great team, we're a great group of guys, and we're going to go out there and do our job. And sometimes we'll come out on the wrong end of that, but most times we'll come out on the right side of that.
Yeah, Coach, the second game in a row that the bullpen has looked very impressive. What have they kind of worked on from previous maybe losses or previous weeks to today that kind of got them to this point tonight and last night?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you we invented a new pitch or JJ had some secret sauce, but man, those kids, I said it last night with St. Probst, they just work so dang hard, every single one of them. And I think the beauty, you lose some guys, and when you lose some guys, it's tough. Obviously Hagan Banks was such a big part of our pitching staff, and you lose him. We obviously lost, RQ there that first weekend. And what I think you see is when you get a fresh T-Fay, man, that stuff's a light. He was up to 97 tonight. It was sinking slider. AD was up to 98 tonight. I think when those guys can stay fresh, we got a chance to be pretty good because we're just going to get a good version of them. The way they stay fresh is Sam Mitchell doing what he did yesterday, Zane Probst doing what he did yesterday, to where you're not leaning on the same 3 guys every night, and that's what the best pitching staff do. That's what Arkansas did. that's a pretty darn good pitching staff over there. And they did bring back the lefty, but outside of him, they ran different arms at us tonight, and it allows those bullpen guys for us as coaches to get maybe the best version of them. So I think it's more of a correlation of the hard work hasn't changed. It's not like on Wednesday they decided we're going to start working. Those guys work their tails off every day. I think it's us as coaches kind of figuring out who's ready, who can kind of step into those situations, and the more we can build that pin in numbers, the fresher those guys will be when they come out.
Coach, you were able to create offense in a multitude of ways tonight. Some of the long ball early in the game, and then an example, TJ laid down a great bunt early in the game, and then but how is it being able to have a group of guys who can score and create offense in a variety of ways and also fight through 9 innings?
Yeah, I think you have to. Like this is something JJ talks to the pitchers about a lot, and I talked to the whole team about maybe a week ago. It's just this whole mentality of like, what does it take to break you? What does it take to break this team, to make you quit, to make you roll over and check it in? And we've challenged them like, hey man, what's it going to take? And the team at times, a lot of teams in the 9th, you're up there, they've got their guy. I mean, every guy comes in, I keep looking at this thing scouting report, I'm like, I don't know if they have a guy in that bullpen that doesn't throw 100. Like it's all electric stuff coming out of there. And you're in the 8th, Gage gets up inside 100 and slams it right at the second baseman for a double play, ends the inning. I'm yelling that in the dugout, like, what's it going to take to break us? They come back out. We're in a good spot there and do some good things, set up an inning. And then you see Superman catching right, and then Aloy making a big time play at short to end the inning on 2 unbelievable swings. Same thing, what's it going to take to break you in it? The answer tonight was nothing. Like, they just kept coming. Now, that's who we have to be. And I think there's times that it's probably been a little bit easier to break us at times this year. But this team showed a lot of heart, a lot of toughness tonight. And I think offensively, you have to be able to do that. I mean, you have to, against a staff like that, if we're gonna just try to line up and go hit, it's gonna be tough. Like, there's a reason that there's 5 or 6, 7 hits on the board. Like, that's just electric stuff from that group. And you saw the same thing. They were in the same boat. Like, with the way our guys threw the ball today, just electric stuff from them. And you have to be able to do some different things. You have to be able to use a short game. You got to be really good with 2 outs, because you're not going to set up 9 innings like we're used to at times. Those are fun when we go early in the season and it's like, hey, we score every inning. The reality is, once you get to league play and you're competing against the best, you're going to have 1, 2, or 3 chances throughout the game, and you've got to cash in. And they're going to be in the same boat. They're going to have 1, 2, or 3 chances, and they've got to cash in. It's what makes this sport great. That's what I love. I mean, I didn't spend my career in the SEC. It's my first time being here. If I'm a kid watching at home, if I'm a draft prospect, it's wonder like, man, like, I might get a chance to go play professional baseball this year. I don't know how you watch this game and say, man, I want to be somewhere else. I want to go sit in Arizona. I want to go somewhere like the best of the best want to come in this environment and compete. And that's what we got to my right and left here, and we got 40 dudes in that locker room that love just staying in the fight and competing. And like I said, really proud of the effort of how they did some different things today.
Yeah, Coach. Justin LeBron continues to make web gym after web gym, and you've been moving him up the order. How's he grown throughout SEC play?
I mean, we knew he was good. I think these guys probably tell you he was pretty good. Pat's been trying to get me to move him up in the order for weeks, and I was like, he had a good kind of pre-conference. Let's see how he handles Tennessee. Handled him pretty good. Let's see how he handles Georgia. Handled him pretty good. What makes Justin LeBron different is not just his talent, it's his mind for a young player. It's just so mature. The stuff TJ talked about early, right? Like, not letting one game bleed into the next, not letting one bat bleed into the next. Braun does such an incredible job of being in the moment. I mean, he had some tough at-bats to start the day today, and then had 2 electric ones at the end, and I mean, that guy is the poster child of the kind of players that I love coaching. We have a lot of dudes that are that, but yes, he's talented. Yes, he can play defense. Yes, he can hit. But that dude loves these guys. That dude sells out for his team, and that guy's one of the more unselfish dudes in that locker room. That's why it's so fun to coach him every day.
Okay.
Do you know who's starting tomorrow? Have y'all made that decision yet?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We'll probably announce that. We'll go back in the locker room, or sitting there watching the other scores around the league tonight. We'll sit down in that locker room and talk about it. again, we have some options on what we want to do tomorrow, so we'll kind of see what the best bullet is, and I got to let Arkansas obviously know here pretty quick, so we'll get that worked out in the locker room here and go from there.
Yeah, and Matt Gusetti went down in the third inning on a scary moment. He came back in the 10th. Was everything cleared with him?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, you
going
know,
with
just
that?
took one in a weird place, and I wasn't here last. Well, I guess none of the three of us were here last year. But I guess he had a similar play last year where it just caught him in the neck in kind of a funky spot, and he was just super lightheaded. And you know, we have great medical staff here between Sean Stryker, Will Ward, you know, Dr. Loventhal was here today. And so when you start getting lightheaded, when you start getting anything weird like that, you just take no chances. And so obviously the real stage, you know, if there's any kind of injury to the head or neck area, they can go be evaluated for a concussion and can re-enter the game. So, you know, we got him back. He felt better pretty quickly, but we wanted to get him moving around. I wanted to get him kind of jumping around, moving around to see if any of those symptoms came back, because, I mean, there's bigger things in life than baseball. If he's going to have some issues there, we're not going to take any chance with him. But he was cleared by Doc and felt good, and so it was good to get him back there with AD there at the end.
All good.
Thanks, guys. Roll Tide.